This month in ABN AMRO World Hockey, we take a trip down under for the grand finale of the Australian Hockey League. We catch up with one of the most lethal finishers in the game. We're in India for an update on an accidental hero. Then it's off to Holland as the Dutch League nears its completion. And finally, we're in Dubai to go head-to-head with one of hockey's most charismatic stars. Perth, the capital of Western Australia, played host to the latest edition of the Men's Australian Hockey League Finals, the most important event of the domestic calendar. The 8 Australian states and territories played each other twice over 3 months before the top 4 made it through to the semi-finals. With all the countries' established stars rubbing shoulders with emerging talent, finals week was the perfect occasion for coach Barry Dancer to identify the core of his squad for the challenges ahead.
Very important league for us, plays a very important role in our selection process. It puts all of our players on a level playing field, very fierce competition, and so to see our players this week playing 5 matches in 7 days, it's a very good opportunity to examine them under some pressure.
In the first semi-final, defending champions Queensland Blades in their maroon outfits began superbly against the Tassie Tigers. Jacob Burns soon doubled the lead, slamming home from the top of the circle. And the old firm of Jamie Dwyer and Troy Elder combined to make it 3-0 at the break. Dwyer pushed home a penalty stroke as Queensland, with 8 international in their ranks, continued to dominate. Jason Wilson's second of the game made it 5-0, and skipper Troy Elder put the icing on the cake, a copybook short corner. In the other semi-final, host smoke-free Western Australia Thundersticks in yellow and green were looking to cash in on home advantage against the Victoria Vikings. A scrappy game, but the Thundersticks edged into the lead through striker Keel Brown, playing his maiden AHL season. Brown then turned provider for Jonathan Charlesworth.
I'm very happy to get to the final. I don't think it was the prettiest game of hockey. I don't think it was that special in terms of everything we did, but it was a grind for both teams, and lucky we were come out on top today. So, yeah, big game tomorrow with the grand final, and up against a very strong Queensland team, but we've been gradually improving, so looking forward to the contest.
The Queensland Blades were the favourites to seal their 4th title in 5 years, but the Thundersticks, with a blend of youth and experience, were looking for a major upset. It was a tight game, the hosts pushing the champions all the way in the first half. The Blades piled on the pressure in the second half, earning a penalty stroke early on. But goalkeeper Jason Vultich brought off a magnificent save from Jamie Dwyer's flick to keep the Thundersticks alive. With just a minute to go, the match seemed destined to go into extra time before recently retired Kookaburra Troy Elder found the target. Queensland had another AHL crown.
We don't spend much time together as a team, but we're pretty stoked when we come together and play well like that. So we had a good week, and we finished it off well enough today.
So the Queensland Blades are kings of the AHL once again, followed by Western Australia. Victoria finished 3rd. It was a fitting finale for Queensland skipper Troy Elder, who has now decided to fade away into the sunset. After an exciting week on the west coast of Australia, time to hop on the red-eye for a flight across the continent to beautiful Brisbane on the east coast for the women's finals week. Despite being ranked 3rd in the world, Australian women's hockey has been at the crossroads for a while. Having dominated the world in the 90s, the team is now rebuilding.
Obviously, the team isn't the same as what it used to be through that golden era, but there are certainly a number of talented players within the group, and the group hasn't actually dropped that far. I mean, 2nd in the World Cup is not a bad effort for a team that isn't in a golden era. So although the team isn't as strong or as dominant as what it used to be, certainly there's no huge panic. We've got 18 months before the Olympics, and there's plenty of talent coming through, and yeah, the team will certainly be looking to do very well.
The first semi-final was between the Queensland Scorchers and the Victoria Vipers, and it was last year's runners-up Queensland who took the early lead through Prue Isa after a goal-mouth melee. In the second half, Angie Lambert widened the margin with a clinically executed penalty corner. And Queensland sealed the victory when Lambert combined with international teammate Susie Faulkner to make it 3-0. In the other semi-final, defending champions smoke-free Western Australia Diamonds in green and gold took on the New South Wales Arrows. Gemma Buckley put the champions in the lead. It was a tight game until the Diamonds upped the tempo in the second half, and Rhiannon Kelly was left with an open goal to tap in for a 2-0 advantage. With New South Wales running out of steam towards the end, Sian Smithson finished things off nicely for the champions. The stage was set for what promised to be a dream final between two evenly matched teams. Western Australia took the lead when Gemma Buckley buried Emily Halliday's penalty corner drive into the roof of the net. Queensland skipper Angie Lambert then returned the compliment to tie things up at 1 apiece. That's the way it stayed for the rest of the first half and most of the second, before Ashley Nelson flicked home a loose ball inside the circle to give the Diamonds back-to-back AHL titles. So Queensland ended up on the losing side for the second successive year. New South Wales were third, ahead of the Victorian Vipers. But once again, it was the smoke-free Western Australia Diamonds who ended up winning. The greatest attribute of the Australian men's hockey teams over the years has been their powerful forward line. And Barry Dancer's current crop of kookaburras is no different. The man who's entrusted with the most important task of all, getting the goals, is Grant Schubert.
Lovely ball across, oh, great finish.
At 26, the South Australian hitman is expected to play a crucial role in Australia's quest for a gold medal in Beijing.
Everything from now is leading up to the Beijing Olympics, and it's not too far away now. So everything we do with training and just trying to, I guess, be fitter and stronger and get up to even a better level than what we were at the Athens Olympics. We realised that it was very close, and we just got over the line there. But we know that we need to improve even further, and we see that, the Germans, they're a lot fitter than what they used to be, and the Dutch are a lot stronger physically, and we need to find ways to be even better than what those teams are.
Having missed out on the World Cup through injury, Schubert is keen to ensure that he's fit and raring to go when the Olympics come around next year. And of course, the taste of gold at Athens has made him even hungrier for an encore in Beijing. And for that, he's willing to put his body on the line. Just being in spots in the circle where people might be afraid of getting hit, and they might be simple goals, tip-ins on the post, but if you're there and people are worried about getting hit, then that's their problem. But I'm not too worried about that. And if I get hit once in 10, but I score 9 other goals, then that's fine by me. After being out of the game for a few months due to injuries, Schubert's trying to pack in as much practice as he can. He's been travelling the globe, balancing league engagements in Australia for the Adelaide Hotshots and the Netherlands, where he turns out for Klein Zwitserland.
The good thing about the Holland League is that you play, 6 months, day in or week in, week out at a really high sort of level of competition. It's pretty much the same as what we have here in Australia, but they play it over 6 months, which is I guess a good thing for their development, for their younger players, but it's also I think good for us because we get that exposure week in, week out.
Schubert's now been part of the Kookaburras for 5 years, and he's no regrets about the way his career has gone so far.
If you were to tell any young hockey player, when they're 8 or 9 getting into hockey, that if you keep going the way you are and you practice hard, that you'll win an Olympic gold medal one day, you know, they'd probably just smile and say, you know, that would be a pretty good career outcome.
Schubert's already got one Olympic gold. His successful career may bring a second in Beijing. After the break, shot down on the cusp of glory, Sandeep Singh fights back. And action from the Dutch Hockey League. Don't go away. It was in June 2006 that India won the bronze medal at the Aslan Shah Cup on the back of Sandeep Singh's powerful drag flicks. Just as he seemed set to join the ranks of the most feared drag flickers in the world, the young Sikh was accidentally shot in the back by an army officer cleaning his loaded service revolver on a crowded train. Six months on, Sandeep is back on his feet and training hard to claim a place in the national side.
चोट लगने के बाद मुझे एक बार तो ऐसे लगा था अभी मेरा हॉकी ख़त्म हो गया है और मेरा हॉकी कैरियर कुछ भी नहीं है। अब मेरा सिर्फ जो भी है तो मैं या तो बेड पे रहूँगा या जिस हिसाब से मुझे चोट लगा था और जो मेरा दोनों लेग था जो ऑन द स्पॉट डेड हो गए थे और जिससे मैं ना तो चलने के लिए खेलने के लिए तो दूर मैं चलने के लिए भी नहीं सोच सकता था। लेकिन भगवान ने मेरा बहुत साथ दिया और विद इन मैं 6 मंथ दोबारा वही पीक में आ रहा हूँ।
The bullet injury ruled him out of the World Cup in Germany, where India, bereft of their most potent weapon, floundered right from the start, 11th out of 12. For his family, the accident was a bolt from the blue.
मेरे वास्ते ते जान ही निकल गई मेरी। भी साडी ता बच्चे ਅਸੀਂ मैं तो यही कह रही सी कि मेरी तो दौलत यही है। बस तो अपना आप सब कुछ बेच के बच्चे बनाए। मेरे बच्चों ने कुछ नहीं होना चाहिए। तो लेकिन मैंने विश्वास सी पूरा कि जिस तरह गोली लगी है ठीक जरूर हो जाएगा।
After recovering from surgery, Sandeep went to Holland for intensive physiotherapy. He's now back on the practice pitch in India.
अगर देखा जाए ड्रैग फ्लिक का तो मैं जब हॉलैंड से आया हूँ तब भी मैं ड्रैग फ्लिक मार रहा था। तब इतना था भी मैं अपने जो मेरा बैक है जो क्योंकि मेरे बैक बोन में थी थोड़ी इंजरी तो वो भी थोड़ा रिकवर नहीं था उस टाइम जब मैं हॉलैंड से आया हूँ। तो उस टाइम भी मैं ड्रैग फ्लिक कर रहा था लेकिन मैं इतना पावर नहीं कर रहा था क्योंकि मेरा बैक में थोड़ा था। लेकिन अभी आज की डेट में मेरी पुरानी पावर की दोबारा आ गई है और जो बात रही प्लेंटिकॉन कन्वर्शन की तो उसमें मेरा जब तक कोई टूर्नामेंट नहीं होता तब तक मुझे इतना आइडिया नहीं होगा। लेकिन जिस हिसाब से मेरी एक्यूरेसी और कन्वर्शन चल रही है प्रैक्टिस में तो उस हिसाब से आई थिंक दोबारा वही पीक आ गई है।
With the Indian team struggling in the international arena, all eyes are on the young Sikh to see if he can recapture the form that made him one of the brightest stars in the game. Windmills, they say, built the Netherlands. For a nation with half its area below sea level, these magnificent structures played a crucial role in draining the land and making it fit for habitation. Now, 5 centuries on, some of the land is used to host one of the finest hockey leagues in the world. Most of the planet's greatest players ply their trade here. No surprise then that the games throw up some breathtaking action. We begin our review with action from the game between Amsterdam and Rotterdam. Amsterdam's star penalty corner striker Taki Takamar put them into the lead, a trademark finish. Amsterdam held on to that lead till the 58th minute before Kiwi striker Phil Burrows restored parity, deflecting a Mark Knowles drive into the roof of the net. In another match, star-studded Bloemendaal took on Utrecht-based SCHC. and they took the lead in the 32nd minute. Wouter Zuli drilling a penalty corner past the goalkeeper. 9 minutes later, Lars Stalling's cracking shot helped Bloemendaal double their lead. Sesko van der Vliet pulled one back for SCHC with a superb reverse flick. That came in the 66th minute. For a while, it looked like the defending champions were in a spot of bother, but they sealed victory in the 69th minute. Mesmerising stick work by Nick Meyer, setting up Ronald Brewer for an easy tap-in. Bloemendaal continued their march towards defending their title as they put league strugglers Tilburg to the sword in the next game. German superstar Christopher Zeller began the rout. World Player of the Year Teun de Nooijer added to Tilburg's misery, forcing another error from their leaky defence after a fine run down the right. Down 3-0 within 20 minutes, Tilburg pulled one back in the 24th. A sharp pass deflected in by Argentine striker Lucas Villa. But any chance of a Tilburg comeback was wiped out when Zeller scored his second goal in the 51st minute. His tally an astounding 47 goals in just 22 matches. And de Nooijer wrapped things up when he tapped in Bloemendaal's sixth. Bloemendaal 18 points clear at the top, followed by HGC and Rotterdam. SCHC are fourth, and Amsterdam complete the top five. In the Women's League, Nijmegen's Yvke Mulder opened the scoring against Amsterdam from a penalty corner. She struck again in the 29th minute, this time through a field goal. Evelyn Smith reduced the margin 8 minutes from time, but Nijmegen held on for a well-deserved win. Amsterdam's next game was against leaders Den Bosch. After a goalless first half, a neat strike from the top of the D by Janneke Schopman put Den Bosch ahead in the 50th minute. 5 minutes later, a brilliant move down the right was finished off by Carlien van der Heuvel to seal a 2-0 victory for Den Bosch. Rotterdam got off to a great start in their game against Amsterdam. A deflection by Sarah Thomas gave the Rotterdam team the lead in the 3rd minute. But Kitty van Marler's powerful reverse flick 3 minutes before half-time levelled things up, and that's how it stayed till the end. Den Bosch top of the league standings with 60 points, Laren the second, Amsterdam third, and just 1 point separates Klein Switzerland from 5th place Rotterdam. Dubai, one of the fastest growing cities in the world. Besides emerging as a leading commercial, trading and tourism hub, this dynamic city is fast establishing itself as an important destination for hockey. Dubai Sports City is set to launch the World Hockey Academy. Slated to begin in 2008, the academy offers a training base for teams as well as coaching and rehabilitation facilities. Also on the agenda is popularising the game by organising smaller tournaments. One such event was the Seiko Invitational Hockey Tournament. Adding star value to the event was the flamboyant Danraj Pillay, easily one of the most gifted players of his era. Also present, Pakistan's Olympic star Shabir Hussain.
दुबई की आवाम को मतलब बड़ा अप्रिशिएट करते हैं इनकी हॉकी फेडरेशन को, जिन्होंने पाकिस्तान वापडा वाटर एंड पावर डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी उनको मतलब हमारी टीम को बुलाकर बड़ा हौसला अफजाई की है। तो इंशाल्लाह ताला जो हमारा इस टूर का मकसद है वो चैम्पियनशिप खेलना है, जो पाकिस्तान में एक डिपार्टमेंटल जो एक टूर्नामेंट होता है उसकी तैयारी करी है।
The event had 10 teams divided into 2 groups. Innovations such as 25-minute matches were thrown in to make the tournament more attractive. Shabir's team Wapta walked away with the trophy, beating Danraj's Friends Club in the final. The Indian superstar, who last played for his country at the 2004 Athens Olympics, did show glimpses of what the Indian team had been missing in the past couple of years as they struggled to edge into the Olympics through the qualifying tournaments.
We have to work very hard to get a qualification. Qualify is the toughest tournaments in the world. Every teams love to play Olympics, and every players, they put their 100% efforts to be in the Olympic side. Because after playing Asian Games, our performance was very, very bad. So I feel we should really work hard to get back our glories.
The temperamental Danraj has had many run-ins with administrators in India, and although he played his last international match 2 years ago, he still doesn't see eye to eye with the establishment.
Indian players are very, very busy with the Premier Hockey League, but I don't know whether they are going to gain anything through this tournament. This PHL was very, very flop, I can say. They should select the best 40 players who are playing for the clubs and their organizations, and they should keep for till 2008 Olympics, and in that only we should concentrate on qualifying the tournament and building up for the Junior World Cup and all.
The controversial striker represented India in 4 Olympics and an equal number of World Cups. He also led India to probably their greatest win in modern times, gold in the '98 Asian Games. At 38, Danraj still harbours dreams of a comeback. But if it doesn't happen, the Indian superstar is considering other options.
Well, this is probably India's best move of the match, and they've scored from it. And guess who's done it? Danraj Pillai, of course.
Definitely, I'll coach some club team, and later on, if I'll get somewhere, a coaching assignment abroad or anything, definitely I'll coach.
For Danraj, hockey remains a passion, and whether he makes a comeback as a player or a coach, one thing is certain: it won't be a quiet one. That's all we have for you in this edition of ABN AMRO World Hockey, but next month we meet the young Kiwi striker Simon Child. Till then, goodbye.